Have you ever felt that there's a greater life waiting for you yet? Somehow it stays just out of reach, like a horizon that moves as you walk toward it? What if I told you that the limits you see are not the truth of who you are, but only illusions your mind has agreed to believe? And what if awakening to your true potential is not about becoming someone new, but finally remembering who you already are at the deepest level? Now pause with me for a moment, take a breath. These are not just poetic questions. They are doorways into the vast inner landscape where your hidden potential waits to be discovered. Today, in this journey, we're not here to chase empty success or temporary highs. We are here to awaken to the truth that has always been inside you, that your life has a magnitude far beyond what you have yet experienced. As you listen, let these words be more than information. Let them stir something within you, a memory, a spark, a longing that feels like home. Because this journey is not about adding more to your life, it's about peeling back the layers that have kept your brilliance unseen. So let us begin. Chapter 1. The Hidden Landscape of Potential. Most people live as if potential is something they must acquire, something waiting in the future, locked behind hard work, education, or chance. But the truth is far more intimate. Potential is not out there. It is not in the next degree, the next promotion, or the next opportunity someone else might hand to you. Potential already lives within you. It is woven into your being, like seeds waiting for the right conditions to bloom. Imagine walking through a field in early spring. At first glance, it looks bare, lifeless, even empty. But beneath the soil, thousands of seeds are quietly preparing to burst forth into green. That is the hidden landscape of your soul. You are far more than the roles you play, the labels you wear, or the history you've lived through. Every limitation you believe about yourself. I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. People like me don't succeed is just like a layer of dust covering a mirror. It obscures the reflection, but it does not change what is truly there. To awaken to your potential, you must first acknowledge this hidden inner landscape, that it exists, that it belongs to you, and that you have the choice to bring it to life. Chapter 2. Awakening from the illusion of limitation. Think back for a moment to when you were a child. You believed anything was possible. You could fly. You could be an astronaut, an artist, a hero, sometimes all in the same afternoon. In your imagination, nothing was too big, too far, or too impossible. That pure sense of possibility is the raw essence of potential. But somewhere along the way, you were taught otherwise. Subtly or directly, you heard phrases like, "Be realistic," "Don't get your hopes up," "People like us don't live that kind of life." These words sink deep, and over time, they build invisible walls around your mind. These walls are not made of stone or steel. They are made of belief, and belief, though intangible, can shape the boundaries of your world more powerfully than any physical prison. When you believe you are limited, your mind scans the world for proof to confirm it. You notice failures more than victories. You interpret challenges as signs that you should stop rather than as invitations to grow. This is the illusion of limitation. It convinces you that you are smaller than you truly are. But here's the truth. Beliefs are not facts. They are agreements. And the beautiful thing about an agreement is that it can be changed. You can choose to stop agreeing with the thought, "I can't," and start agreeing with the truth, "I am capable." This shift is not just motivational talk, it is transformation at the core. Imagine someone walking through life wearing tinted glasses. The world looks gray, muted, and dull. But the moment they remove those glasses, color explodes into view. Nothing outside changed. The sky was always blue, the flowers always vibrant. The only thing that shifted was perception. That is what happens when you awaken from the illusion of limitation. The world doesn't suddenly hand you more opportunities. You begin to see the opportunities that were always there. We often underestimate how much our internal dialogue dictates the quality of our lives. Perhaps you've told yourself stories like, "I don't have enough time. I'm not smart enough. It's too late for me." These are not truths. They are stories. And like any story, they can be rewritten the moment you realize you are the author of your own narrative. A door opens. You can decide that today marks the chapter where you stop shrinking and start expanding. To awaken from limitation is not to deny challenges. Life will still bring obstacles, failures, and moments of pain. But instead of interpreting them as proof of your smallness, you begin to see them as training. For your greatness, a seed must push against the soil before it sees the light. A muscle must endure resistance before it becomes strong. And you, too, must sometimes face difficulty not as punishment, but as preparation for the life you are meant to live. When you embrace this truth, you break the spell of limitation. You realize you are not your doubts, you are not your fears. You are not the voice that tells you to stay small. You are something far greater. And the moment you wake up to that, everything changes. Chapter 3. The Inner Compass of Purpose. When you first awaken from the illusion of limitation, the world suddenly feels wider. Opportunities appear where before there were only walls. Yet with all this new possibility comes another challenge. Which direction should I go? It's like standing in the middle of a vast open field. Freedom can feel overwhelming if you don't know where to walk. And this is where purpose steps in, not as a rigid plan, but as a compass, guiding you toward the path that feels most alive, most true, most aligned with who you are. How purpose guides us like a compass in the fog. Think of purpose as a quiet but steady inner voice. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand. Instead, it nudges, it whispers, it points your heart in a direction even when the outer map isn't clear. Imagine being lost in thick fog. You can't see more than a few steps ahead, but if you have a compass, you don't panic. You may not see the whole journey, but you know which way to walk. Step by step, the fog begins to thin. Purpose works the same way. You don't need to know the entire plan of your life. You only need to listen closely to that inner compass and take the step it points you toward. The difference between goals and purpose. Many people confuse purpose with goals. Goals are specific achievements. Get the promotion, buy the house, run the marathon. Purpose, on the other hand, is deeper. It is the why behind the goals. Without purpose, goals can feel hollow even if you achieve them. But when your goals are aligned with purpose, every step feels meaningful, whether you win or lose. Purpose infuses even small actions with significance. Writing one page becomes a step toward inspiring others. Saving $1 becomes part of building freedom for your family. Every moment connects to something greater, but how do you hear this compass, this whisper of purpose? It begins with listening. In a noisy world, we often drown out the signals of our own soul. We're so busy chasing what we think we should want that we lose touch with what we truly desire. Purpose reveals itself in stillness, in those quiet moments when you're walking alone, or journaling, or simply breathing deeply. Sometimes it reveals itself in contrast through dissatisfaction, frustration, or the aching sense that life should feel richer. That discomfort is a clue pointing you back toward alignment. Living with purpose doesn't mean you'll never face uncertainty again, but it means you'll have a constant guide, no matter the storm. When opportunities come, you ask, does this align with my deeper why? When challenges arise, you ask, is this hardship shaping me toward the person I am meant to become? And just like that, you move through life with direction. Instead of drifting, you move with conviction. Instead of hesitation, and you discover that potential isn't about doing everything, it's about doing what matters most. Chapter 4. Cultivating the Energy of Possibility. When you begin to live guided by purpose, something shifts inside you. Life is no longer just about what you can do, becomes about what is possible, and possibility is not simply a mindset, it is an energy, a way of being that you can nurture every single day. The subtle shift from limitation to possibility. Think back to a time when you felt stuck, when every option seemed closed. Then, maybe through a conversation, an insight, or a sudden spark of courage, a new path appeared. That moment of recognition, that breath of maybe, is the energy of possibility. It doesn't mean the outcome is guaranteed. It doesn't mean the path will be easy. It means the door exists. And once you know the door is there, you can choose to step toward it. Cultivating possibility begins with this shift. Seeing life not as a set of locked rooms, but as a series of doors waiting to be opened. Energy is contagious. If you walk into a room heavy with doubt, others feel it. If you walk in with light, hope, and vision, that energy expands around you. The same is true within your inner world. Every thought you nurture is like planting a seed. Doubt plants weeds that choke your growth. Belief plants flowers that bloom into opportunity. The question is, which seeds will you water? To cultivate possibility, you must be intentional about the energy you feed yourself. What do you read? Who do you spend time with? What stories do you tell yourself before you sleep? Every input is either expanding your sense of what is possible, or shrinking it, of course. Life will bring challenges. There will be setbacks, disappointments, even failures that shake your confidence. But possibility is not about ignoring difficulties, it's about transforming them. Think of a fire. If you throw a heavy log on it, at first the flames might dim, but soon the log itself becomes fuel, burning brighter than before. Obstacles are like that. At first, they feel like they are smothering you, but with the right perspective, they become the very fuel that strengthens your potential. This is why many great breakthroughs are born from moments of crisis. When the old ways collapse, when certainty falls apart, new possibilities emerge that you never saw before. Cultivating the energy of possibility isn't something you do once, it's something you practice. Every day, in small ways, you remind yourself that you are not defined by yesterday. This might be as simple as writing down 3 possibilities every morning, things you could create, explore, or attempt. It might mean pausing when you feel fear and asking, what if this fear is the doorway to something new? Or it might mean celebrating small wins, because every victory, no matter how tiny, reinforces the truth. You are capable of more. Over time, these rituals reshape your inner world. They train your mind and spirit to expect doors, to expect light, to expect that something beautiful is always waiting just ahead. When you live in this state, people notice. Opportunities flow more easily to those who carry the vibration of openness and potential. Not because the universe is playing favorites, but because people are naturally drawn to those who believe in something bigger. And perhaps most importantly, when you cultivate the energy of possibility, you awaken to a new way of living, not waiting for life to prove itself to you, but proving to life that you are ready, willing, and open to receive its gifts. Chapter 5. Courage, Fear, and the Threshold of Growth. Growth always begins at the edge of comfort. To awaken to your potential, you must inevitably face the threshold where fear and courage meet. It is here at this fragile, powerful edge that you discover who you really are. Fear, as the guardian of transformation. Fear is not the enemy, it is the guardian at the gate of your next chapter. Whenever you step toward something greater, fear whispers, "Are you sure? Are you ready? What if you fail?" Those questions are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to test your conviction. Fear highlights the places where you are about to expand. It shows you the doors worth walking through. Without fear, there would be no growth, because there would be no edge to cross. Most people try to avoid fear. They numb it, suppress it, or build walls to stay safe. But here is the truth. Fear is energy, and energy can be redirected. Imagine holding a torch in your hand. If you fear the flame, you might drop it and run. But if you choose to trust yourself, that same flame becomes a source of light, warmth, and direction. Fear works the same way. If you avoid it, it controls you. If you harness it, it fuels you. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is often misunderstood. People think it means feeling fearless. In truth, courage is moving forward with fear still in your chest. It is the steady step you take while your hands tremble. It is the voice that says, "Yes, I am afraid, but I will not be stopped." Courage is the quiet decision to act, even when your mind screams for safety, and each act of courage builds a bridge. Across the threshold of growth, there comes a moment in every journey when you cannot go back. But moving forward feels terrifying. This is the threshold. It is the space between the old self and the emerging self. At this point, many turn back, retreating into the familiar. But those who step through, those who choose to trust the unknown, discover new dimensions of strength they never imagined. The threshold is uncomfortable, but it is also sacred. It is the birthplace of transformation. Practices to strengthen courage. How do you cultivate courage in daily life? By starting small. Courage is a muscle. It grows through use. Speak the truth, even when your voice shakes. Take on a challenge that stretches you, but doesn't overwhelm you. Remind yourself of times you were afraid before, and still found your way through. Each act reinforces the truth. Fear does not define you. Your choices do. Another practice is reframing fear as excitement. Notice how the body feels when you're nervous. The racing heart, the surge of energy. These are the same sensations as anticipation. Sometimes, fear is simply excitement waiting to be renamed. On the other side of fear, when you cross the threshold of fear with courage, something extraordinary happens. You begin to trust yourself more deeply. You realize that the limits you believed in were illusions, and with each threshold you pass, your life expands. You move from surviving to thriving, from doubting to daring, from hiding to shining. Fear may never disappear entirely, but as you awaken to your potential, fear transforms from an obstacle into a companion, one that reminds you, you are standing on the edge of something magnificent. Chapter 6. Awakening through action. Awakening is not only about what you realize within it, is about what you do with that realization. Insight becomes transformation when it is lived, breathed, and expressed through action. Action is the bridge between potential and reality, between who you are now and who you are becoming. From knowing to embodying, many people gather wisdom but remain unchanged. They read, reflect, and dream, yet their lives look the same year after year. Why? Because knowing is only the first step. Embodying that knowing requires action. It is like planting a seed. Understanding the nature of the seed is important, but the seed will never grow unless you place it in the soil, water it, and allow it to break open. Awakening is the same. It demands that you act upon what you know. Small steps that shift reality. You don't need to wait for a perfect plan. Action doesn't have to be grand or flawless. Often, the smallest consistent steps create the most profound changes. Writing a single page each day can become a book. Speaking one word of truth can start a revolution in your life. Taking one step outside your comfort zone can open doors to new worlds. Small actions repeated over time awaken possibilities that once felt unreachable. True action is not frantic busyness. It is not doing more just to feel productive. Awakening through action means moving in alignment with your deepest values, your purpose, your truth. Aligned action feels different, even if it requires effort. It carries a sense of clarity. It resonates within you. It feels like your inner compass pointing north, saying, "Yes, this is the way." Whenever you step into aligned action, resistance will appear. Doubt will whisper, "You're not ready." Fear will suggest, "It's too risky." The comfort of routine will pull you back. But remember, resistance is a sign you are moving toward something that matters. If you wait until you feel completely ready, you may wait a lifetime. Awakening requires you to move while the path is still uncertain. Action awakens dormant strength. There are capacities within you that remain hidden until they are tested through action. You cannot discover courage without taking a bold step. You cannot uncover resilience without facing challenges. You cannot know your true power until you choose to act. Even when it feels impossible, action is the key that unlocks your hidden strength. Each time you act, you awaken more of your potential. The sacred cycle of action and reflection. Action without reflection can lead to exhaustion. Reflection without action can lead to stagnation. The awakening process requires both. You take action, then pause to listen, learn, and adjust. This cycle creates growth that is sustainable, intentional, and deeply transformative, like inhaling and exhaling action. And reflection must flow together, living your awakening through what you do ultimately. Awakening to your potential is not proven by your words, but by your life. Every choice, every gesture, every action is an opportunity to express the truth of who you are. When you begin to act as the person you are becoming, rather than the person you've been, your reality shifts. Your actions write the story of your awakening moment by moment, step by step. Chapter 7. Living Beyond the Old Self. Awakening is not just about realizing what is possible, it is about leaving behind the self that was built on fear, limitation, and doubt. To step into your true potential, you must be willing to live beyond the old self, the identity that kept you small, safe, and silent, like a snake shedding its skin. Awakening asks you to release the layers that no longer fit who you are becoming. These layers may be beliefs inherited from family, stories of failure, or identities shaped by fear. Letting go is not always comfortable. The old self is familiar, and the familiar can feel safe, even if it is painful. Yet holding on to what no longer serves you is like wearing chains while trying to run free. To awaken, you must be willing to shed the skin of limitation. The old self is not your true self. It is a collection of patterns, roles, and stories you once believed to be you. Perhaps it told you, "I am not enough. I am destined to struggle. I must play small to be loved." But identity is fluid, not fixed. You are not defined by your past choices or by who you were yesterday. Every moment gives you the power to choose against to step into a higher, truer version of yourself. Living beyond the old self requires courage. The old self will fight to survive, whispering, "Stay here. It's safer. Don't risk. Don't change." But comfort zones are cages in disguise. True freedom lies in courage, the courage to speak your truth, to take bold steps, to live a life aligned with your inner calling. When you choose courage over comfort, you expand, and in that expansion, the old self begins to dissolve, becoming the new self through practice. Transformation is not instant. Living beyond the old self is a practice, each day. You are given countless opportunities to choose differently. When fear arises, you can choose trust. When doubt whispers, you can choose faith. When the old self clings to safety, you can choose growth. Through these daily choices, the new self, awakened self, takes root and begins to flourish. Living as an evolving being, living beyond the old self, does not mean you will never encounter fear, doubt, or resistance again. It means you no longer let them define you. You recognize them as echoes of a self that no longer has power over you. You begin to see yourself as an evolving being, always unfolding, always expanding, always awakening, and in that awareness, you taste the true freedom of living as your fullest self. As you awaken to your potential, shed the old self, and step into the truth of who you are. You enter a new way of living. This is not about reaching a final destination. It is about becoming. Becoming the living expression of your potential in every breath, every choice, every step. Final reminder, becoming the living expression of potential. Awakening to your potential is not about arriving at a single moment of triumph. It is about becoming. Becoming is alive, breathing, and unfolding. It is the daily practice of stepping into your truth and expressing the fullness of who you are, without apology, without fear, without shrinking back into the shadows of the old self. Awakening as a continuous journey. You see, awakening is not a final destination. It is not a crown you wear once and for all. It is an ongoing journey, a continuous unfolding of new layers, new depths, new heights. Each time you cross a threshold of growth, another door opens. Each time you embrace courage over fear, you expand into a new version of yourself. The true beauty lies in the fact that you never stop evolving. You are both the sculptor and the clay, both the dreamer and the dream unfolding, becoming the channel of your own light. When you awaken to your potential, you become a channel for something far greater than yourself. Your words inspire others. Your presence lifts the energy in the room. Your actions ripple outward, shaping lives you may never even meet. You realize that your potential is not only about personal success, it is about service, contribution, and leaving behind a trail of light that others can follow. In this way, you become the living expression of possibility itself. Awakening does not mean chasing endlessly for more. It is about realizing you already hold everything. Within you, your potential is not out there in the distance. It is here, right now, waiting to be embodied. You stop striving from lack and begin creating from wholeness. This shift changes everything. How you work, how you love, how you live. You move through life not as someone seeking to prove their worth, but as someone expressing the infinite worth that already exists within. And so, the invitation is here. Not tomorrow, not someday today. Step into the life you were meant to live. Let go of the old stories that kept you small. Stand tall in the truth of who you are becoming. You are not meant to simply survive. You are meant to shine, to grow, to create, to awaken. The world is waiting for your potential to be expressed not in theory, not in dreams, but in action, in presence, in being. Let this be your reminder. You are powerful beyond measure, capable beyond belief, and luminous beyond imagination. Your potential is not a promise, it is a reality waiting to be lived. So take the leap, step into your truth, become the living expression of your potential. And as you do, you will discover that life itself rises to meet you with open arms, guiding you, supporting you, and expanding through you, because the truth is simple, and it is this: you are awakening, and you are infinite. Thank you for spending this moment with Awaken Light Audio. If something today touched your heart or opened your mind, don't keep it to yourself. Share your thoughts in the comments. What spoke to you most? Tell us about your journey, your questions, your breakthroughs, and let us know what you'd love to hear next. Subscribe to stay connected. And if this message could uplift someone you care about, send it their way, because light grows when it's shared. Until next time, stay present, stay awakened, and keep becoming who you're meant to be.